The rally in Tesla stock has just started. We literally haven't seen anything yet. Tesla is literally bankrupting its competition. Tesla's website traffic is at all-time highs. And once the Cybertruck comes out, it's likely to extend those all-time highs, fueling more sales of Tesla vehicles. Now, if you don't think or believe in Tesla stock, you think it's overvalued, that you think it's coming down anytime soon, you need to watch this video because there's a lot of great points made about Tesla. And if the stock says anything, you've seen very little bearishness recently. And there's a reason for that. Besides the analysts speaking their nonsense, the stock does what the stock does. It doesn't have emotions. It doesn't have short positions, generally speaking. Obviously, there's a massive short position currently on Tesla, but the stock isn't reacting to that. Doesn't even care. In fact, shorts getting squeezed in those short positions currently. Every dollar Tesla goes higher, short sellers are losing hundreds, literal $100+ million every dollar Tesla moves higher. They're in a bad situation. No surprise some people talk so negatively on Tesla. Here in this video, we're going to get into everything you need to know. A lot of specifics regarding advertising, demand, and where Tesla's business is at right now. But I also want to talk about the stock and what's likely to happen there as well, which I think is mostly what you guys care about. So let's get into this video. Hit the like button. If you like to make money, if you want to grow your net worth, if you want to reach financial freedom as quickly as possible, or just stay up to date with everything happening in our markets, this is your place to be. On a day-by-day basis, we keep you guys informed. When things turn bearish, I will be the first to let you all know. So this next clip that just aired on CNBC tonight, I think highlights exactly what I've been saying this entire time. Keep in mind, I also live in Michigan, so this just furthermore proves my point.
Listen, people say, why am I knocking on EVs all the time? I'm not. The technology is cool. I woke up this morning in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I know a lot of people in Detroit, and I talk to a lot of people in Detroit, and I'm just going to tell you, there's a lot of people in mid to upper levels of management and line workers who are worried.
Well, the moment of truth is coming at us. And the reason for that, Brian, is you have a number of high volume products in major segments, particularly for GM, that are going to be launching in the second half of this year. And when you look at affordability and you look at even the price of electricity is up significantly from, a couple of years ago when the automakers were starting to work on these electric vehicles. So, the issue for GM right now is their sales are small because they're ramping what they call their Ultium battery pack, which goes into their Cadillac Lyriq and their Hummer, which are, listen, by design, very limited volume vehicles. But later this year, they're launching the Blazer and the Equinox. And, that's the moment of truth because they dedicated full plants to these. These are high volume plants. So they need these vehicles to sell for them to make a return on their investment.
And, excuse me, I've ridden in some of these cars. I rode in the electric GM Hummer. I rode in the Celestiq, which was, by the way, a beautiful car, one of the coolest looking and interiors and exteriors that I've been in. But when I also see, and I talk to dealers all the time, I spoke with a national car dealer kind of on a background call. He didn't want to go on the record. He said that demand in EVs is strong on the coast, but about 100 miles inland, with the exception of a few pockets, this is his word, demand is almost zero. Is there a chance that Detroit, one of the great American cities, I love the city, is headed down a path where they're going to make a bunch of products that people don't want?
Well, this could be a situation where actually Detroit is ahead of the curve, right?
Okay.
In terms of bringing products to market, that, the demand isn't there right now. I mean, right now, Brian, as you know.
So let me push back on this. It's not that there's no demand. Keep in mind, again, I live in Michigan. It's people don't know about Tesla. They know that it's a car. They have range anxiety. They don't know how many chargers are around them. You don't see Tesla chargers the same way you do in other cities, maybe big cities. You like, hey, there's a bunch of Tesla chargers. You don't see that in Michigan. Even though they're there, a lot of them are on dealership lots or things of that nature. People don't know about Teslas is the bottom line. When you ask someone what they want their next vehicle to be, 49 out of 50 times, they're not going to say Tesla. And then you ask them, well, what is Tesla? What kind of range does a Tesla have? Simple questions that you and I think are stupid that most people would know. They don't know that. So it's not that there's a lack of demand necessarily. There's a lack of knowledge out there. There's a lack of brand penetration for Tesla. This is a big reason why I expect demand is going to pick up exponentially from here. I don't think you're going to see worse demand than what we've seen before, meaning that Tesla's order book is going to start growing at a rate where Tesla can't even produce all of the vehicles they are selling, especially when the Cybertruck comes out. I've thrown this statistic at you guys a couple of times, but when the Model Y, the last real model, was introduced back on March 13th of 2020, literally at the bottom of the stock market, well, 1 year out, sales increased for Tesla's brand as a whole by about 85%. That was because people were like, hey, Tesla has a new model. They go to the Tesla website and they buy themselves a Tesla. I think the Cybertruck is going to be like that, but on steroids once people sees the Cybertruck. Markets are forward looking. So by the time the markets realize the Cybertruck is going to grow Tesla's brand much larger than we initially expected, or at least Wall Street expected, the stock will react bullishly on that. A lot of people don't have anything good baked in for the Cybertruck or what that will do for Tesla. Imagine when they are proved wrong. This could mean well past all-time highs. Volkswagen has officially slowed the ID4 and ID7 EV production and plans to lay off hundreds of temp workers, potentially forever, as they hope it's only temporary. Tesla is literally going to bankrupt their competition. Not all their competition, but people that don't make a product, or companies, I should say, that don't make a product that can stand a toe to Tesla in due time are done. They're toast. They're gone. Tesla is the only player in this space on a real level right now. Nobody can compete with Tesla. Elon plays chess and they play checkers. Now, Tesla stock currently has a short position worth $26.21 billion. You have 96 million shares currently sold short on this stock. You have not seen that since July 15th of 2021, over 2 years. And Tesla continues to break out higher. As I said previously and in other videos, every dollar Tesla rallies, it costs the shorts about $100 million. That is a big loss to be taking, especially when Tesla has the potential to rally exponentially higher from here. Not to mention the option activity over the last couple of months has been extremely bullish. And even what we've seen today was some of the volume on the calls expiring this Friday, the $280, $285, $290, $300 calls are over 50,000. You're seeing nothing like that on the put side, not even close to that. Potentially, you could see a gamma squeeze around the corner as well. And unfortunately for the bears, Tesla's technicals support continued higher highs. It supports a continued rally. You've seen a golden cross recently, which about 90% of the time tends to be bullish 3 months out. You've seen the RSI that was really overbought. It fell. It's back in overbought territory, but not at concerning levels. Tesla is about the same on the RSI that Apple was, at least the last green day that Apple had. It's very comparable to other names out there. But what you have also seen is the high of June 21st, this high candle, this wick is what it's called, this higher end kind of candlestick wick. If you actually make a line there, you almost touched that and bounced off of it perfectly today. That's at about $277.20 per share. It was almost perfect. And then the stock retraced to almost close at the higher end range. So when you look at some of the option activity, when you look just logically at Tesla right now, there's a lot more reasons for the stock to rally from here rather than to fall. Not to mention Tesla, relatively speaking, has seen lower volume in the past 3 trading days than what you've seen on this move, from $200 to $270. Before you fell, you had volume that was in between 170, 170 million and 210 million on the high end. The last 3 days, you've had 112 million for volume, 119 million for volume, and 131 for volume today. You could see higher volume that could drive Tesla much higher. It doesn't look like FOMO has actually started to kick in with Tesla the way that it has in 2023 for other names. But when we really look at this logically, what are the potential negative catalysts that we could foresee right now? Obviously, earnings is going to be the next big catalyst. Now, there's not a lot of good things baked in here. Margins are expected to get worse from last quarter. So if you just see any improvement from last quarter in margins, that's going to be better than expectations. We already got delivery numbers. We know that's going to be good. We have a general idea of where the revenue is going to come in, around $24 billion. Elon's probably going to have some pretty positive things to say. I doubt he comes out and is super negative, considering the delivery numbers we just got. That wouldn't make sense. I don't foresee anything negative with earnings coming right now. I could be wrong. Margins could come in lower than expectations, and Elon could say they're going to cut prices another 25% this quarter. Anything can happen. That's the bottom line. But logically speaking, I don't think earnings is going to be a negative catalyst. I don't think demand's going to slow down, considering the clip we're about to play literally shows Tesla's website traffic at all-time highs. When the Cybertruck comes out in Q3, hopefully, that's going to drive more attention to Tesla. That's going to drive more sales, advertising. So many things are happening right now. I don't think that's a relative possibility here. Unless, again, you were to go into recession quickly or something crazy happened. I can't point out negatives for Tesla besides 2 things. Like I just mentioned, if the markets crash, recession fears come about, all of that, Tesla's not immune, the stock would fall. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. The second one is Elon selling stock. That is the only, those are the only 2 things that I could see right now that could knock Tesla off of this rally. But even when you look at things such as valuation, I mean, Tesla's trading twice as cheap as Microsoft or Apple when you factor in growth. Microsoft is supposed to grow, at least they're projected to grow about 10% a year. Tesla's growing 45 to 50% a year. and the expectations for Tesla is around 30% growth next year. You're going to beat that by a long shot. Apple is negative year over year. Those stocks are at all-time highs. I don't think the gap here between Tesla not even being at a 52-week high and being down 48% from its all-time high comparatively to Apple or Microsoft or other big tech names where they are at all-time highs makes any logical sense. And nobody can make a good argument for that. Besides, they have more cash. Besides, they're more stable companies. But they're not growing, so how stable are they? Long story short, there's not a lot of negative things here. Unless I'm missing something that's just not obvious, I don't think there's anything that's really going to stop Tesla from here. Sure, could you consolidate? Could you come down for a little while? Obviously, that's always a possibility. But 6 months from now, I think Tesla's got a 4 handle on it. I think it's over $400 the next 6 months from now, if things go as I expect they will. And if Wall Street is wrong about the Cybertruck, if Wall Street is wrong about margins improving, if Wall Street is wrong about 1.8 million deliveries, if Tesla can come in line with 2 million deliveries or potentially exceed that by a little, these are all positive things that Wall Street is not expecting, on top of many other things. I just can't make a bearish case. When there is a bearish case to be made for Tesla, I'll bring that to you. But so far, so good. We were calling out Tesla when it was at $100 per share, saying that this was the time to buy. When everyone else was fearful, Wall Street just couldn't get a grip on reality. That continues to be the case. And that's why you continue to outperform Wall Street.
On the TD Ameritrade Network, let's bring in our next guest for our cash tag segment. And that's going to be Andy Swann, co-founder at Likefolio. Welcome back to the show, Andy.
Yeah, thank you.
We're talking one of your favorite subjects, Andy, and that's Tesla. Really good delivery numbers. It seems like the pricing that they've implemented over the last 6 months has really taken hold as demand remains robust for at least 2 of their models.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think that the writing was on the wall actually about a year ago with Tesla when, gas prices were through the roof. I think that's when a lot of people decided that their next car was going to be electric, or at least they would give it serious consideration. And among electric vehicles, really, Tesla is the only player worth talking about at this point. Their lead is so gigantic and growing at this point. And I think, for us at Likefolio, we really watch 2 things when it comes to Tesla. Of course, we're watching the gas price concerns and electric vehicle demand and things like that. But for Tesla specifically, we like to look at the number of people talking about it on social media, which is down year over year, 23%. For us, this is actually one of those very rare situations where we think this is actually a good sign, because last year what was happening was you had a confluence of 2 things. You had, high gas prices, and you had the CEO of Tesla, Elon Musk, embroiled in this entire drama around buying Twitter, which really distracted, I think, the shareholder base and Wall Street in general. So Tesla was a huge topic of conversation without it really being about the cars. And so now I think that has changed, and most of those mentions are about the cars. And we see that when we look at Tesla web visits, which are up 26% year over year, near all-time highs. And what this tells me is that, Tesla at this point is now part of the normal car shopping experience. It's not just this one-off kind of weird EV brand luxury that is out there that people don't really think about. When people are starting to look at purchasing cars, they're starting online, first of all, because the dealer lots have disappointed them time and time again. And so when they start online, they end up checking out Tesla. They see how affordable these cars are. This company is set to benefit in a really, really big way, not just from the EV boom. I think that Tesla has moved well past that and is just a really iconic, almost luxury brand that now a lot of people can get into for $40,000 or less, which is very impressive the way they've executed on this strategy.
Andy, when I look at all the topics that we could talk about when we're looking at Tesla, we could talk about the Cybertruck, we can talk about the Tesla Semi, we can talk about the charging network, we can talk about autonomous driving, we can talk about green energy and energy storage, AI, robotics, the robo-taxi, all these names that we're talking about. And the other side always wants to talk about valuation, right? This is, this stock is overvalued. It's got valuation problems. And they also say the price is coming down. That could be margin problems. But I want your honest opinion. Is the street reading this wrong with the margins? I see Tesla pressing its advantage when it comes to margins because he's got room. on margins to come down and almost strangle the other EV makers and still make plenty of money. And you see the numbers, you see the deliveries. People see that as desperation from them, lowering the prices. I think he has got a chokehold on these other companies, and he's using it. Andy?
Yeah, you know, we were on this show with you guys, I think, just a few months ago talking about this. And, I tried to make the case at that time that this is a strategic move. This is not a move out of desperation. We see it in the data time and time again that demand for Tesla vehicles is very, very high and growing. It's not a move out of desperation. This is a competitive move like you talk about. And I would add to that I think what Tesla has that other car manufacturers, forget EVs, other car manufacturers in general don't have, is that the more cars that they can sell and build, the better and more scalable their operations get. The way that they've set up these factories, these gigafactories, is actually the more they produce, the more efficient they get, the more their costs come down. It's an unbelievably scalable operation. And so I think that lowering the price in order to continue to keep demand growth going is exactly what this company should be doing. And like you said, they're profitable on every unit that comes out the door right now, and there's more room in that per unit profit margin to compress even further and bet on themselves. So I think this is well beyond an EV play at this point. This is actually something that I think GM, Ford, Toyota, all auto manufacturers, whether EV or traditional, are starting to become very concerned that Tesla is running away with the overall auto market, and it's a matter of time before that comes to fruition.
And Andy, when you look at the social media mentions on your one chart, it says it's down a little bit, but they continue to outperform on the delivery side. I think they're believed to deliver about 1.8 million cars so far this year. Do they need, Andy, in your opinion, and some of the data that is reflective that out of Likefolio, do they need more models? Because it seems like the Model S and Model X just don't sell a lot, right? They don't produce a lot. It's all Model Y and Model 3. Do they need new models? Because you know what? BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, the GM, Ford, they're coming for them with a wider array of models. Is that going to be something that they can sustain if they just stick with these basic four that they have and then add that truck?
Yeah, I think adding the truck will be huge, and give them an entirely new, fairly untapped market at this point. I do think that there's room even below the Model 3 in terms of price point. I think they're going to target that. And I think Tesla will have, a car out there in the maybe $18,000 to $25,000 range that just, could completely change the way the company is viewed by consumers more globally, I think, than in just the United States. But yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think they've done a good job of focusing on the models that they do have. They have a nice breadth of price points, all the way from, the Model X, which I think can be 120, 130,000, all the way down to the Model 3.
That is going to do it for this video. If you like my perspective and you want to stay up to date with everything happening with Tesla, join the journey and make some sweet, sweet money, hit that subscribe button as well as the like button on your way out of this video. Also, check out the links down below in the description if you want to get yourself some Tesla merch so you can rock that baby wherever you are. Maybe start a conversation, maybe teach someone about Tesla stock and help them grow their net worth. Well, link down below in the description of this video as well. Links for Webull to get yourself some free stock, as well as links to join the trading community if you guys want to come trade with me live every time I make a trade on Tesla or any other stock or option or anything else. Link down below in the description of this video as well. Nonetheless, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.